seemed like foster care or parents just giving their children away was the norm. That was just the norm. And so even growing up for me, like the norm was single parent household. And so even the early parts of my years, and I even talked to my mother about this, but for a degree she was a single mother. And so how y'all lives intersect, because I didn't even know you did, you were a file clerk, because all I knew was that you worked for sanitation. That's pretty much all I've
Yeah.
known. And how you ended up meeting my mother, and just talk about that story.
Oh wow, that's funny. You should mention that. That was how we met. Was you know it's your fault that we got married, kind of sort of. You know, if you look at it, if you listen to the story, cause yeah, I was working for sanitation, but before that I worked for Department of Social Service, and as a caseworker. And back then they didn't have computers. Back then in the '80s when I was working for the Department of Social Service, um, and the everything was done by hand. Now it's all computerized. You do everything online. But back then I had 150 caseload, and 90 to 95% of the clients I interviewed were women, female, single family households. So now I'm just reflecting back on me interviewing these women. Very few guys came in for public assistance back then. You had a couple guys. Guys might have lost their job or fell on hard times, but very few guys. I'd say maybe 10% out of 100 maybe were guys. Every the other percentage were basically women that have 4 or 5 kids that needed public assistance, welfare, food stamps, Medicaid, whatever. And I worked there for about, I'd say 6 years, from 81 to 87. And the sanitation test came out. The rest is kind of history. Started working with sanitation. Working with sanitation for about 3 or 4 years. And in enters Brandon in my life. One day, me and my partner, we're in Brooklyn, picking up garbage, and we're on his block. And we pull up to this house. Now, the way we work in sanitation is one person loads on the right side of the street. We have dual steering. If anybody has seen the trucks in New York, there's a steering wheel on both sides. So one guy works the right side while the guy's on the right side driving, and he works, if it's an 80 block route, I do 40 blocks, my partner does 40 blocks. And in New York City, 40 blocks is 40 long blocks. Any of those of you have been in New York know how those blocks are. So we have had our work cut out for us. It was good, hard, strenuous work, but it was good money. So it just so happens, and in enters God again. He had another plan for my life. He has so many plans. And he still has plans for me. You know, I'm not finished yet. He ain't finished with me yet. But this just happened to be my turn to be down loading garbage, and my partner was up driving. It could have been vice versa. I would have never met Brandon, and I would not be sitting here right now talking to you, because I would have been up in the truck driving, and him and his mother would have went right by, and they would have saw my partner, and they wouldn't have saw me. But it just so happens, it happened to be my turn to be down loading, taking the cans to the truck and dumping them and putting the cans back behind the gate. These people's houses in their yard. So I'm at the corner, almost off the corner, and I'm going to this house to pick up lean over the fence and pick up 2 cans of garbage. When I turn around, I see his mother with the most biggest, beautiful, prettiest eyes I've ever seen in my life. But then I look down and she's got Brandon in the shopping cart. And they're going to the supermarket food shopping. So I guess you're wondering, he's sitting in the shopping cart, but how big is the shopping cart? Is it one of them shopping carts from the supermarket? No. It's a regular shopping cart that folds up. And those of you who know about what's a shopping cart, you know what I'm talking about. And he was that little. He was, I think, 2. He was 2 going on 3 because I met her February 8th, 1992. And Brandon's birthday is February 14th, 1989. So if you do the math,
yeah, it was 2.
He was 2, soon to be 3 the next week. Well, in 6 days, he would have turned 3. And he was so little, so he was small enough to fit in the shopping cart. So I looked down at him, and as soon as I saw him, I fell in love with him. And then I looked up at her. I saw her, but right away I kind of like, I saw her, I looked into her eyes, and then my glance went right to him. And I saw him, and I fell in love with him right there, at that point right there. And then I looked back at her, and then I stopped her, and we started talking. And I says, well, you know I love your son, right? And she said, I didn't love my son. You don't even know us, right? I said, he is so cute. I says, you got to give me your number, just like that. I mean, I was bold. And she said, why I have to give you my? I says, I want to call you. I said, can I call you? So she gave me the number, and the rest is kind of history. I'm sitting here now.